got the technical things out of the way. This is Geechee Line Journey, and we back. I mean, I think we haven't been on no vlogs and what about? Has it been 2 months?
That
No, it's
might
been
be.
almost 2 months because I think we did do a Cebu recap, I believe. So
Yep, we
yeah,
did.
so it wouldn't have been that long. It would have been more like maybe 5 weeks ago. But anyway, we back today. I'm actually in Davao City right now, but finally got out of the camp and volunteer thing into Cloven, which I'll deal with that later on in a future vlog. But we're here today to recap as best we can and under direction of Dana asking me stuff, recapping my 5-day experience in Iloilo. So I'm gonna let you get to that and just try to field your inquiries and all that.
Okay, well, let's start with this. How was your flight from Cebu to Iloilo?
Very easy flight. All the flight durations are quite short here.
About how
So
long was it for your flight from Cebu to Ilo?
I'm gonna say it was no more than an hour,
An
maybe an
hour?
hour. It might not have even been that long in the air, but
Yeah.
very brief.
Okay. I know when I made the flight, I think it ended up being something like 48 minutes.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay. And okay, when you landed there, uh, what did you think of the airport?
Well, what I'm finding so far is, these airports are smaller than what I'm used to in the States. Obviously, I'm used to going into O'Hare, Midway, uh, Dallas, Las Vegas, LAX, San Francisco, stuff like that. So obviously you see that it's a much smaller airport. Usually your bags by the time you get to the baggage claim, your bag is there. You don't have to wait long for your bags. People are already waiting there all over you about, do you need a ride here? You need a ride there. Um,
Okay. Let me
but
let me ask you this.
go ahead.
Okay. Um, Traveling at an age of over 60, how did that strike you?
Uh, the flights themselves to me were quite comfortable, especially the ones within the Philippines, because I mean, the flight itself, once you're on the plane, even if you're in a seat that may be kind of cramped or smaller than you may like, you're not on that plane that long. So you don't have a whole lot of time to be uncomfortable if you were uncomfortable. Um,
Right.
Most of my issue was getting on the damn plane, dealing with, my excess baggage. So that's something, and I
Yeah.
really got hit with that on this last trip, which I won't talk about until we get to that. But that's why one thing I have a strong impetus when I
Okay.
leave here to get a apartment, since I'm planning on staying here, where I can unload some of this extra stuff because
Okay. Well, that's a rather lengthy answer.
I know.
What I'm
Well,
what I'm
hey,
asking you actually is, um, did you appreciate the fact that in the Philippines they have a completely different attitude about service for seniors?
I mean, I did not personally feel impacted by that. I felt like any other passenger. Uh, it's not like in America, if I'm on Southwest or something and you are a senior, especially if you're carrying a medical equipment such as a CPAP machine. In America, they have something called pre-board. So in that case, they would actually let you board the plane first. But in this particular case, it doesn't make a difference because you have assigned seats anyway. So it doesn't make a whole lot of, there's no real advantage there to being a senior.
Well, my experience is that being over 50 years old, they put you on the plane first.
Yeah, but I'm saying in this case, because it's assigned seats, it don't matter.
Okay. All right. So you fly in the ELO. Did you notice any big difference in the weather?
No. The weather here has been pretty consistent. High 70s, 80 degrees, sunny, occasional rain. Usually when it did rain, it didn't rain long, or it didn't affect anything that I wanted to do. So I haven't really seen any great variance between Cebu and Iloilo in that respect.
Okay. What did you think about the layout? Because I know you were out and about every day.
Yes, I
And
was.
I followed your videos. So my questions are, for example, what did you think about as far as the layout of Iloilo? Did you find it was any easier to get around in Iloilo as opposed to Cebu?
Well, I think the physical layout was somewhat different, but there were some similarities. I think you got to remember though, as you know, in Iloilo, I had a tour guide basically driving, chauffeuring me around. So, I wasn't personally affected by it, but I believe they did have taxis, of course.
Yeah.
I did not remember seeing jeepneys. I think I did see tricycles there that you could get. Um,
What
the
about
areas,
the commercial buses?
I'm going to tell you, I have no recollection of any commercial public transportation like that on a bus. I have no collection of
Okay.
that.
But they do have it in Elo.
Oh, I'm pretty sure they probably do. But again, because I was being chauffeured around, it probably wouldn't have impacted me even to notice it if they had it.
Okay, because that was
I didn't really.
one of the first things that I noticed when I got to Elo was even though Cebu has like 2.5 million people there, and it's a much larger city than Elo, but Elo had mass transit buses that ran regular bus routes. And I thought
Yeah,
that was one of the first things that I realized that was a little bit different because Ilo is considered the most progressive city in the Philippines.
uh-huh. Yeah, I mean, I saw there was some things about it that I like. I like their river walk, which I was able to visit that. I really didn't get a chance to get boots on the ground, walking a lot in Iloilo because I was basically chauffeured anywhere. I didn't have time. Usually, like I did in Cebu, I like to get up 6:30 a.m. real early in the morning, go out and just walk for 60, 90 minutes. I didn't get a chance to do that in Iloilo, which, should I go back there, I may avail myself of that opportunity
Okay.
to determine the walkability of it. But as far as the walkability, I did take note of the street conditions. Again, there were some similarities between that and Cebu. Um, there was a couple of main streets I felt that pedestrians would be on to get to certain things or amenities or institutions, what have you.
Okay. Tell me about the litter. Did you see a lot of litter in
No,
Elo, like
no,
as
no,
opposed to Cebu?
no. I didn't. No, I can't recall seeing any litter at all. Especially when you're
Yeah.
going to compare it to Cebu. You go to Cebu, certain areas that where I saw, I mean, it was quite a bit of it, markedly differently so. I don't remember seeing any of that in Iloilo.
Okay. I want your opinion. If some of your viewers who've been following you say, well, okay, I've watched his videos between those two cities. Um, which one of those two cities would you recommend for a first time visitor to the Philippines? Which of those two cities would you recommend?
I would. It's a toss up to me. The only reason why I say that is if you may have an individual who has personal preference. What I personally liked about where I was in Cebu, it was a prime location to me, walking distance, a very short distance from major malls, Ayala Mall, Robinson, Baby Robinson, uh, barbershops, massage, restaurant, banking, very convenient. Everything was in walking distance, less than a kilometer walk to get to all of that. The jeepney was very inexpensive. I think it was like 12 pesos. I used that jeepney to go to Magellan's Cross and other places that I could have gone. So, and then when I went to Mactan Newtown again, they have not only the jeepneys, they have the taxi. They also have the motorcycle called Move It. So it's like getting around Cebu is no sweat at all if you got your stuff set up. Iloilo, I like the location I was in, right across the street from a major mall. Uh, very great, very convenient. Again, nice shops, nice places to eat in there, nice places to be. I tell you, one of the great experiences I had in that mall. I think the first time I went in the mall, they had a electronic store, furniture store, and they were exhibiting or demonstrating karaoke equipment. And on two occasions, I was able to go in the store and sing for 20, 30 minutes. They let me sing karaoke, in a way. I mean, that's kind of selling their product. But they were very welcoming, very warm and smile. Hello, sir. What can I do for you, sir? There was a lot of, sir, sir, sir. I mean, such a stark difference.
Okay.
Enough from America,
Now,
but
one of the criticisms I hear from a lot of expats is that they say that the Philippines is severely lacking in customer service. Now, in what I've just heard from you, it sounds to me like you found Filipinos to be polite.
oh yes,
So
absolutely.
I'm going to be quite direct with this question. And what did you think of the customer service that you received as you've been going around in the Philippines? What did you find?
Customer service was top notch, unmatched. Nothing like it in America, except in some places, obviously, if you have an institution that prides themselves on customer service and they want to keep that
Right.
rep up, then the people they hire, they're going to do that customer service right. Or if they get enough complaints about it, their ass is out the door.
Well, one of the things one of the things about the Philippines that a lot of your viewers probably don't recognize is the fact that using malls as an example,
Yeah.
even Jollibee, you have to have a college degree to work in those places.
Yep. How about
You
that?
have
You
to
got
have
to have a college degree to work at McDonald's, y'all.
yeah. So, and I think that's something that should be noted for your viewers who are going to be coming to the Philippines for the first time, because I know that there a lot of these viewers, are apprehensive. It's like, can I do this? Will I like this? Will I be okay? And of course, one of the things that makes your video so insightful is because you're passing on information that other bloggers are not providing. And so I ask you these questions because people are going to want to know, well, okay, how am I going to be treated?
Sure.
Now, let me ask you this. Did you have any trouble with any of the signage in either one of the two cities?
No. Most of the signs in English. It's just like you in Chicago or anywhere else. Now, I believe now, in some cases, the small criticism, they could use more signage on the streets themselves. So you know what
Yeah.
street you're on.
Yeah.
But as far as businesses, other stuff like that, no problem. But man, if they can just increase the street signage, then again, I've experienced this. I've been to several cities now, as you know. I've been to Cebu, I've been to Iloilo, I've been to San Carlos, I've been to Dumaguete, I've been to Tacloban, now I've been in Davao. That if they get that street signage together, they really wouldn't be no problem.
Well, one of the things that I found out quickly is the fact that if you're to try to depend on your GPS, that can be tricky because you're right. There's some places that there's virtually no street signs.
Yeah.
And then there are some areas that do have, street signs, and that's not a problem.
Yeah.
But it's surprisingly how you can be in the middle of downtown. Now, I'm speaking about Cebu, but I'm going to ask you, and I know you were driven around, so you have a tendency not to pay that much attention to it. However, one of the things about ILO that I appreciated was, even though I had problems sometimes with my GPS, the signage was pretty good.
Yeah,
the signage was pretty good.
Yeah, and this is just what I would say as a general travel trip, and this is what I've done, even I went to America, Mexico, whatever. When I would go to L.A., Las Vegas, whatever, I always try to make note of the major streets and thoroughfares, and use that as an anchor as far as navigation of where I am. In any city, I think if you can learn just a handful of major streets and their general position within a city, that helps tremendously as far as your personal navigation of where you are.
Absolutely. Okay, let's get into this about ILO. How did you find the restaurants and the food?
Food was pretty good. They had some places, of course, they had some barbecue places. They had the traditional Filipino fare that I was able to try and sample there. Of course, they had the ever-present Jollibee and Chow King and stuff like that, which I didn't do too much of that. But I mean, especially right across the street from the mall, they had some of the major chains there in the mall. So if you just got to have, some of your American or Western fare,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not very hard to find that, but
So
I will.
access to Western food is quite accessible, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's not a big deal. Obviously, when you deal in the Philippines, you're gonna deal with a lot of rice and chicken, seafood and rice. One thing is very popular here, pancit canton, which some of you may look like ramen noodles to y'all or chop suey, but pancit canton a lot. Like I said, I had Chow King last night. I like their laureate uh, meal, which is kind of a variety there. Jollibees is kind of basic. It's basically just fried chicken and spaghetti. I think they got burgers too.
Yep.
Um, if you go to the night spots, which I went to a few of those, obviously you might have your little chicken wing things and stuff like that. Um, if you're particular about certain things that you just like and you just used to in America, readily accessible, not necessarily so. Now, surprisingly, like I said, when I was in Cebu, I went repeatedly back to this pizza place. I didn't even buy pizza when I was in America, but I
Okay.
like this place.
All right. Well, let's get back to talking about Elo.
Sure.
Okay. Um, if your if your blog here is typical to what the other bloggers in the Philippines are doing, uh, I would say that probably 70% or more of your viewers are men.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you a man question, okay?
Okay.
And I'm sure some women would probably want to know the answer
I
too.
think I can
But
do
my,
that. I think.
but yeah, I think you can too. Um, did you try any of the local beer
Yes.
in Elo?
Red Horse beer.
Okay, and what do you
Uh,
think of?
it was all right. And I might have had San Miguel as well. I think San Miguel is the brewer who also makes Red Horse as well. One thing I noticed about some of these beers, you have flavored beers, lemon flavored beer, and things like that, orange flavored beer, what have you,
Yeah,
lime or whatever. One thing I noticed, if you read the bottle, you think you just getting drunk as hell off this, right? 6 or 7% alcohol level. That's
right,
all. I mean,
right.
that's like less than Miller Lite or something.
Did you try Tanner wine?
I did not see the Tanner wine. Like I said, I think I had the San Miguel and the Red Horse.
Well, Tanner wine is rum, but it's made out of pineapple.
No, I didn't get into that.
Yeah, it's made out of pineapple and it's also made out of coconut. And
Okay.
it has a very, very interesting flavor. And just like the beer there, it doesn't have a real high alcohol content, but it makes up for it in flavor. It's sort of like the spiked lemonades that they sell over here in the United States.
Spike
Okay.
lemonade, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. What else did I want to ask you about in Ela? Okay. Um, were you able to visit any residential areas, and what did you think about that? And of
Uh,
course, Elo is famous for the number of really good golf courses. Did you get a chance to see any of those?
I didn't get a chance to deal with any golf courses. Now, I did visit a residential area. Christian did take me to a residential area and a site where he was working on a building project where he's actually building a home there. That was in the stage. I believe he said should be complete maybe by January or so.
Uh-huh.
But I did observe some of the residential areas. You could tell there were a few people there who had some money and put a lot of money into their home construction, new construction, or what have you. Obviously, there's mixed housing stock there. I did go through, we went through a residential area where they had like the smaller, I would say, rental type homes. Did not get a chance to go inside one. I was hoping to be able to do that to get an idea of the rentals. But we did absolutely go through some of the residential areas there. And
So what did you think of them?
very interesting layouts. Well, in ILOILO, different clusters of, like I said, homes. I would say in some cases they were like similar, I almost want to call them cookie cutter type homes. But there were some homes that kind of had the distinction there. They had a little courtyard in the front, behind the gate. You may have a garden area where you could sit and all that. And some people, like I did get a chance to spend some time in one of the residences where it's like adjacent to some property in the back where people might have had gardens or trees growing or something like that. So again, I guess it's a variance depending on the ownership status of whoever the resident is.
Okay. While you were in ILO, I don't know if Christian had told you this or not, but bok choy was invented in ILO.
He did. And yes, he did.
Did you have an opportunity to try it?
Yes, we did. We went to one of the places. I think he might have even said this was the original bok choy. Maybe one of the people that actually, I guess, quote unquote, invented it there. But I just saw several places but bok choy was very prominent there. And I was able to try some of it.
And how did you like it?
It was okay. I mean, it was different, obviously. It's a different, I guess if I wanted to compare it to something, it would be like kind of like a chop suey, spaghetti, pasta type, just along that order.
Okay.
And the bok choy may have meat in it or not.
Yeah.
Various, but the bok choy itself is, basic,
like
recipe, if you will. And, you may have meatballs in there, whatever.
Right. So it's a basic, kind of like a ramen noodle.
Yes.
But it's a soup, and you can cater it to whatever taste that you want. You can, matter of fact, the place that I went to, you got your basic bok choy, bowl of bok choy, and then they also gave you a little kettle of extra. And then you went up to the counter and you put your chopped onions in it if you want, or your peppers in it, and your beef, the amount of beef that you want in it that was already
we
cooked
didn't do that.
And so you could cater it. You could cater it to what you want.
Oh, okay, yeah. We didn't have that customization, but
you could put the Chinese mustard in if you want, stir it up, to spice it up. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. All right. If anything about ILO, what left a lasting impression on you?
I think it was an interesting location. Was right on the body of water that there's a sea. I did go to the sea front there. I remember the markets where you could buy the fruit, vegetables, and certain meat, fish, seafood, and pork or chicken or whatever that was there available. The markets there. They did have this nice place. I think they actually call it Smallville, which you thinking about Superman. Smallville is like a district, like where they have live entertainment places where you can eat as well. So I've made several visits to a couple places there in Smallville, and I might have even released some video of that. I probably will be releasing more. If not on YouTube, I may release it on fan base. But
How did you like the festive walk?
yeah, we spent time at the Festive Walk. I think during maybe just on the weekend, they blocked that section of street off, and then they allow people to come up with their own kiosks where they would sell different food items there that were available. Obviously, you could always buy your little pasalubong, which is, certain gifts, treats, sweets, and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
this was like adjacent to the body of the festive walk itself. But it was very nice, clean, interesting place to be. We had clear weather at night, well lit. You had the lamps, like the Oriental style lamps, that were
Overhead.
adorned overhead.
Mhm.
Again, the mall itself, the Festive Walk Mall, is right there, accessible. Again, nice place to eat. I mean, if you're somebody who likes into the dating scene, you want to take somebody out to date, perfect place for that, perfect place to walk, perfect place to eat. The sights, the sounds, everything. I mean, it's tailor made for that, the people that want to do that entertainment, just being out.
So it's a great social area, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's based also potential there again, a place where you would take, a person that you're dating or interested in or whatever. Very nice place there
Okay.
for that.
I got another question for you. One of the things that I have noticed is that for Westerners especially, when they fly into the Philippines, one of the things that they've often said is they didn't expect to see so many armed guards and security guards
Uh-huh.
all over the place.
Yes.
And I always try to let my customers know that those people are hired by they're not police, but they're hired by the businesses. And in many
Yes.
cases, they'll be a great assistance to you if you can't find something. Okay, because that's what they do, is patrol around the business. So,
Yeah.
for example, if you were looking for a shaver, razor to shave, and you can't find it, you go to the security guard and he knows where it is. So they're there not only just to provide security, but they're there also to be of assistance. And
Yeah.
one of the things I found about the Festive Walk, and I cannot remember seeing any kind of security there. I know it's there, but they're so
Mm.
incognito that it
Yeah.
doesn't make you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. Now that you point that out to me, I didn't see them as being very prominent. Now, that's in stark contrast to where the hell I'm at now, which is Davao City, home of Duterte. So it's a security galore here. But
Right.
I'm glad to see them. I mean, I get along well with them. I like to speak. I look at their name tag and I like to call them by their name stuff. So I'm glad you're here. Sir, you can't bring that umbrella in here. You have to bring it over, and went to Chow King. Cool. I like seeing them. I mean, I'm glad about it because I believe they
So
probably keep
so
that
far,
crime down to where zero. If you had that in Chicago in America, you bring that damn crime down.
so up to we're talking about we were recapping ELO.
Yeah.
So far, you're telling me and your viewers that you have felt safe in the Philippines.
Absolutely. I felt safe. I've gone by myself into the barangay. People have asked me, aren't you scared or afraid walking around here? I said, no. I mean, I felt like I was at home, in the hood or whatever. But I don't come from no rich place. I mean, I come from the poor side of town. So I was all right with that and felt very safe. Like I said, even though you said I don't remember seeing all the armed guards everywhere in Iloilo, I felt safe if I wanted to walk anywhere or anything.
Day or night.
Day or night.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, you've pretty much answered most of my questions. Matter of fact, all of my questions. And so at this point, I'm going to leave the summary of this recap about ILO. We got about 2.5 minutes left, so
Right.
I'm going to leave that up to you to cap this off.
Okay, I'm going to give you a little bit of this. I only spent 5 days in Iloilo. I kind of wish I could have been there longer. It's definitely a place that I'm interested in going back again for a visit. Again, I recall, like I said, the cleanliness of the city. I felt safe. Customer service tops, clean. The general treatment you get by the Filipino citizens, very polite, very friendly. They have some great, just basic attractions. We didn't even talk about the several churches that I visited, and I was able to go in the church edifice, and I took video and everything. I got to meet Christian's family. It just so happens we went into a church. His parents and siblings just happened to be in that church when we went. And also one day at random, I went across the street to the mall. Do you know I randomly encountered Christian again? At random. We hadn't even planned it. I went over there, saw him again with his parents and his siblings. And that was a great experience itself.
You made a new friend over there.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Christian is great. Was
the services worth it to you?
The service was worth what I paid for it. Like I said, I use them again. And if we ever do follow up on this, again, Iloilo is a great choice, I think, for Westerners to visit, check it out, do some self-research on yourself. I would say do this though. Contact Dana Middleton to get you together on ILO or any other place. But thank you on behalf of Geechee Line Journey. We'll be back again to recap to Clovis. Thank you.
Thank you.